Hello everyone and welcome to this video. My name is Angelina Fabian. I'm a human design holistic analyst. I'm a human design guide and also teacher for human design certified by the International Human Design School, founded by Ra Uru Hu, the originator of the human design system. At the time of publishing this video on YouTube, I am in the 13th year of my human design experiment and study, and human design has really been a true blessing for me, both in private and also in business life and also in my health life. Now to today's core question. What is the difference between a pure generator and a manifesting generator? People who do not practice the original human design claim that the manifesting generator is the fifth type, which is not correct. For the generator and the manifesting generator, it's about their type, and based on their type, we have their strategy, and of course, then we find also their authority. And for the generator and the manifesting generator, because they are the same type, they have the identical strategy. It all revolves around the type to which strategy and aura field are linked, and these are identical for the generator and the manifesting generator. Thus, the type remains the same, and there is no difference. Yes, there are nuances, but it doesn't make it another type. So there is no difference both aurically and mechanically. In human design, there are fundamentally only four types: the generator, the projector, the manifester, and the reflector. Even among projectors, there are different manifestations, such as the classic projector, the mental projector, the energy projector, and here too, all projectors share the same genetic strategy and aura mechanics. We don't invent another type, and simply because we have classic projectors without motors and energy projectors who can have up to 3 motors. It doesn't make it another type. It's still the same type, still the same aura, still the same strategy. And of course there are nuances and there's a differentiation, but that doesn't make it another type. And also with manifestors, whether it's the splenic manifestor or the emotional manifestor or the ego manifestor, all of those variations have the same aura and thus the same strategy. And then based on their individual designs, the centers, the authority, the gates and the channels, of course there's a differentiation, but we have 4 types, not 5. So don't be confused and pay attention to where the information comes from, because in our time of over-information, there's also much misleading information regardless of every topic. And there's so much misinformation and dumbed down and distorted and confused information. And bullshit doesn't mutate. So, therefore, it's important not to be naive and to rely on strategy and authority when navigating through this flood of information, no matter where we look into, either it's human design or medicine or natural healing, whatever it is. We need to be really cautious so that we won't be manipulated. So back to the mechanics of the pure generator, which has the defined sacral center, the center of life. It's the vortex of life. Without this definition, there would be no life on this planet, no reproduction, no sex, no hospitals, schools, or anything else, because this powerful and vibrant life center creates literally life on Earth. When this sacral center is defined, we immediately have the type generator. And if they do not have any of the 4 motors in their human design chart connected to the throat, they are a pure generator. This is also true, for example, if a generator has a projector or projected split with a defined throat center, which, however, is separate from the defined sacral, the ego, the solar plexus, and the root. So those 4 motors do not have any direct or indirect connection to the throat. So we have a generator, he has a defined sacral. This generator can have an open throat. This generator can have a defined throat, but as long as the sacral, the ego, the solar plexus, and the root center are not connected to the throat, either directly, like it's possible with the ego, the solar plexus, and the sacral, or indirectly, like it's possible for the root center, but we can also, for example, the ego and the solar plex can also be connected to the throat, but through other centers, like for example the ego goes over the spleen, then up to the throat, or the solar plexus goes to the root, and the root goes up to the spleen, and the spleen goes up to the throat. As long as those connections are not existent, we have a pure generator. So we have a pure generator only then if the sacral is defined and none of the motors, solar plexus, ego, sacral, and root, do not have any connection to the throat, either direct or indirectly. So what makes a manifesting generator now a manifesting generator? A manifesting generator must have a motor which is either the sacral, the root, the solar plex, or the ego, and is either directly or indirectly connected to the throat. I myself am a manifesting generator, and you can see in my chart which mechanics and connections make me an MG, a manifesting generator. There is my sacral center, which is directly connected to the throat via the channel 2034, or the connection from my root as a motor to the sacral and then to the throat. Or on the other side, it is the solar plexus connected to the throat via a manifesting channel. And lastly, my ego, indirectly, not through the channel 2145. That's the only channel we have where the ego has direct access to the throat, but I don't have that. So my ego is indirectly through the solar plexus connected to the throat. So all four motors in my chart are directly or indirectly connected to my throat. That's a lot of manifesting generator power. And thus my voice is often very loud, very intense, and very deep for a woman, simply because all this definition and all those four motors, all of them go to the throat. The energy runs through the throat, so my throat is quite defined, has a lot of energy magnifying all those centers in my design. All this motor power of the root, the sacral, the big fat ego, as I like to call it. The spirituality always says the ego is bad. The ego is not bad. It's the mind that distorts the ego. The ego is simply a mechanic that we want to live according to our strategy and authority and not distorted through our distorted and traumatized mind. And also my emotionality, my solar plexus, and all its different nuances. You can hear all of that in my voice because all this power flows continuously to the throat. And it's like I have a rocket in my bed, or coffee flows through my veins. It's really, when I'm navigating correctly through my strategy and authority, I have a lot of energy. And all this energy pumps to the throat and gets manifested through the throat. And also there is the danger of using my design in the not self, in the shadow, and navigating through the world mentally as a manifesting generator, quickly running from one trap to the next, either being remote controlled by my own mind or being remote controlled by other people who think I'm not fast enough, but I'm an emotional manifesting generator. I always say I'm a snail Ferrari, so yes, I'm an MG, but my big boss is my snail. That's the metaphor for the defined solar plexus. So if I'm not correct, I can create a lot of chaos in my life and thus in other people's lives. So it's really important for me, with all this power in my design and having transpersonal karma, having a 5-1 profile, that I'm not remote controlled, neither by my mind, nor by my trauma. Therefore, I'm also doing trauma release work, gentle trauma alchemy, nor by other people's minds and their not self and how they would like me to be and be faster than I am. Because if I'm not respecting that and I'm not grounding in my strategy and authority, there will be chaos everywhere. So in general, for all of us in our design, it's really important to be grounded in our strategy and authority. Otherwise, we are remote controlled by our mind, or we are remote controlled by other people's not self. And if I may say it that way, fucked up mind. And if you're listening to me, you are aware English is not my native language. I have learned 8 languages so far. I'm speaking 4 languages every day, and English was my 4th language. So I speak mainly German, but I love, love, love the English language, and had also, based on my strategy and authority, the impulse to share this information about human design from my perspective, studying the original human design for the last 13 years, now also in the English language. So I hope you enjoy my funny mistakes. And I really, really love the human design system, the original human design system, not the distorted and dumbed down version. And I've never met anything that deep and that precise before in my life. And also when I had my first reading by John Martin, God bless his soul, he already died, I never felt so seen, like by no one else and by no other system in my life. And that was really an epiphany. And since then, I started studying the human design system, the original one, and also started my personal human design experiment. And I live it. I have been living it for 13 years with all the mistakes and all the revelations and all the joy and all the pain also of the conditioning and all the waking up that we start to wake up in our true self. That is really beautiful, but also painful at the same time, because you start to see how distorted we are through conditioning, through being raised by parents who didn't see us, who didn't know us, and who meant it well. At least in most cases. In some cases they didn't mean it well, because there was a lot of abuse, but that we were so distorted and so confused in who we really are. And the more we surrender to our strategy and authority and start to decondition, get rid of everything that is not us, all the faulty conditioning that we were pulled over through our lives, to really start to wake up to our own beauty and uniqueness and our unique genius. But it takes time, and it's not always as easy, because the conditioning often hurts. Therefore, I recommend people not only to follow the strategy and authority, but what I discovered in my human design experiment, tapping. You may know it under tapping or AFT, and tapping on the meridians, where we tap on the nervous system and through that tap also on the hormonal system, is a badass way to metabolize pain, to help us in our deconditioning process. Because when we start to live according to our unique human design based on our strategy and authority, pain will come up. And as the originator of the human design system, Ra Uru, said, people are not broken, but they need help with their pain. Amen to that. And from my perspective, having been in my experiment for 13 years, it's one of the best tools, because it also addresses the body mechanics on the level of your nervous system and also your hormonal system. And so I have been experimenting with it and living according to it for 13 years, and share my humble wisdom from those 13 years and knowledge and experiences in my analyses, and also on social media. And I also teach human design, and it's really, really beautiful to know yourself, to not be distorted by being pure, so to speak. Being so deeply connected with your true self and allow this light to shine into the world. It's a process. It takes time. But the more we get there, life is just so delicious. So back to the question. I'm very abstract in my design, so I tend to go off on a tangent. Back to the question. What distinguishes the generator from the MG? We have just looked at the mechanics of the manifesting generator and its specific qualities, and seen how it differs from the generator. But it is not better or worse. That's also important, because sometimes the MG is celebrated over the pure generator. That's mindfuck and bullshit. It's not about better and worse, and the human design system is not about better and worse. It's about celebrating differentiation, celebrating uniqueness, and that we fall in love with who we really are without comparing ourselves to others, and at the end that we stop comparing ourselves with others, because a penguin doesn't compare itself to a cheetah. It just enjoys being a freaking beautiful, badass penguin. So it's not about better or worse, which type is better, the generator or the manifesting generator. It's just about the fact that they have different nuances. And that's what I really, really love about human design. As I said, it celebrates individuality. Instead of judging or wanting to change something that is not changeable, you can't have 6 fingers on your hand. You celebrate your genetic blueprint, how it is, because it's beautiful. And so we see in the human design system our genetic beauty. And it's not about being better or worse, but it's really about embracing and falling in love with who we are. So either you're generator or manifesting generator, it's beautiful. And it's meant that way, and that's how life wanted you. Or if you're a projector, a manifestor, or a reflector, life wanted you the exact same way. So let's surrender to life and celebrate who we are, instead of always fixing us in areas where we are not broken and trying to be someone else because we have not seen the beauty of who we really are. So what they do have in common is that they have a teddy bear aura and also their strategy. And unfortunately, there's little information available for that, because the generators who come to me do not know what their gut response really is and how to use it, and what correct responding from the sacral moment by moment really means for them. And due to misinformation or misunderstandings of the informations, which is actually correct, that they think they still have to figure out mentally what their sacral response is telling them. Yeah, they still try to go through the mind to discover their sacral response, and the mind is not connected to the sacral response. It doesn't have any life force energy going there directly from the sacral to the mind, thus the mind often cannot understand the sacral response. We have really to surrender to our body, to surrender to our body, to ourselves, to our body intelligence, and then as generators respond from that source of beauty and power. The mind, and it's easy to distinguish the mind from the sacral response, because the mind discusses and talks and monologues and dialogues. The gut response doesn't. It just gives you a go or a stop, or like the yellow traffic light when you're driving your car. It means then wait. But the sacral response doesn't operate in monologues and dialogues and in words. And so it's really important for the generator to respond from their sacral. Because for example, when I do sacral sessions with my clients, the mind often thinks I ask the mind those questions, but I don't. So we really do our best to train the sacral response so that they really get it, because most people are so identified with their mind and try to respond from their head, from their mind, and not from their sacral response. But the sacral response has really only 3 ways to respond. Go, stop, and it's unclear in that very moment, the yellow traffic light, so to speak, and you have to wait. And it's really important for the generator to stop being proactive. That's reserved for the manifestors, and instead be reactive, start to respond from their sacral center. For the generator, the pure generator, everything goes step by step by step by step. After E comes B, then C, and so on. They learn everything step by step. And thus the gift of the pure generator is mastery in one area, because they do not skip certain steps. My assistant, now I have several assistants. One of my assistants, for example, is a pure generator, and helps me in business to achieve mastery and get certain things done that might otherwise slip through the cracks. So that's her mastery, doing step by step. My son is also a pure generator, and I watch him like he really needs the step-by-step approach as a pure generator that applies to all of them, because otherwise they are overwhelmed. The manifesting generator, that's me, on the other hand, is a skipper and does step 1, then step 5, and step 10, and then to the next step, step 13. The manifesting generators, because they have a motor connected to the throat, has the gift of fast and efficient action, which I personally love. I love efficiency. But it's due to my emotional authority that I am efficient, and it takes time until I am efficient, until I can go into generating and manifesting. Otherwise, my system is not working. So either the pure generator that is born for mastery, or the manifesting generator that is born for efficiency and ballistics. I'm a manifesting generator. I love ballistic training. I love it. It really regenerates me so much. I hate slow training. Therefore, I love skiing, for example, because it's fast, and I always love to drive my car fast. I love speed and efficiency. So we are born for efficiency and ballistics. And everything has its place. We need the pure generator. We need the manifesting generators. They have all their place in this beautiful totality of life. The manifesting generator is born for efficiency and born to work quickly. And I observe many manifesting generators who are not working efficient, who take way too much time in responding because there's so much in their head. And the longer they are in their experiment, the faster they get. It's only important in their experiment that they don't push themselves to be a mental manifesting generator, or are pushed from the outside to be a mental manifesting generator. What I mean by that is that they are pushing through the mind, but that they surrender to strategy and authority, their condition, and then this acceleration and speed and efficiency will pop up more and more. And as I said, it's also because the manifesting generator has a connection to the throat. It's way easier. The danger is way bigger for him and her to be more proactive through the mind and initiating through the mind either their work or their relationships, or giving advice to other people through their mind instead of responding. And then this MG will be very distorted and a pain in the ass. So for all of us, it's important to surrender to our strategy and authority so that the pure generator can have his and her mastery step by step, and we MGs really start to be efficient. So both designs are perfect. It took a while for me to see that in my design too, because my painful conditioning suppressed and manipulated me. The conditioning personally helped me to discover the beauty in what was supposedly wrong with me, because it was my true power. Either it's my defined ego or being slow. I am a snail. I'm an emotional MG. Yeah, I have a Ferrari in my butt, but my big boss is a snail. And it took me so much time to surrender to the slow aspect in my life and to love it and really stay firm if people from the outside try to push me to be quicker. Because if I am, and I'm a slave of their not self-mind, and they will remote control me through their mind because they think I'm not fast enough. That's really very disruptive for my nervous system, so I'm not doing it. I have my pace, and that's the pace of the snail, but if I allow my snail to take over, I will be very efficient. It will just take time. So it's really beautiful to discover who we are and to surrender to that. And when I rediscovered what my beauty, my power, also as an MG or with my defined ego, I gradually really learned to love my design and to recognize the perfection in it. And it doesn't matter if other people love it or not. It's perfect because life wanted me that way. And I do my freaking best to surrender to it and not to interfere with my genetic intelligence that is connected to life's intelligence. And in spirituality, for example, you do so many exercises to discover your self-love, and you don't even know what it means if you do not know who you are. If you cannot distinguish who you are and what is your conditioning, how can you love yourself? And so I love human design because it helps you, shows you your genetic potential on a genetic level. Thus, it's not manipulative, at least the original human design. The black market human design version, the dumbed down version and distorted version is again very manipulative, because people there use the human design information and manipulate with that, and their mind tries to use the human design information to still push from the mind. And that's not the original human design, because it's not surrender. So how can you love who you are if you don't even know who you are? But by discovering your unique mechanics, you discover yourself. Through strategy and authority, you discover who you are and what you're meant to do and with whom you are meant to be. And over time, you start to truly, deeply freaking love yourself. And true self-love is really authentic. True love is really being truly authentic as you are, and thus you resonate in a different frequency field, and thus you attract also people who love, who see you and start to love you for who you really are, without trying to twist you like a damn pretzel to manipulate you. Because that is love, to accept the people as they truly are. Like for the emotional manifesting generator, they cannot be faster. And if you want them to be faster, then it's your problem. Or to expect from a pure generator that they are super quick. They can't. They can't do that. If we expect that from them, it's our problem. It's not theirs. And it's important for the pure generator, like in my example, or the emotional manifesting generator, to be rooted in their truth and not to allow other people's distorted minds to dominate their life and to make them do things what their distorted mind thinks how this person should be and what this person should do. That is not love. That's manipulation. So if we are stressed out, like for example of the pure generator who is slower and who needs to do the step-by-step process, it's our problem. If we want the emotional manifesting generator, or generator for that sake, to be faster, then it's our problem, not theirs. And we cannot push our mental agenda on them, because that would be manipulation. It's about surrender to who we really are, not trying to push other people and who we think they should be, based on our limited perspective, and based on the fact that most people do not know themselves. And if those people do not know themselves and then think that someone should be a certain way, that's their problem, not ours, okay? So don't allow other people's distorted mind and trauma and entangle you in their mental distorted prison while they want you to be different than you are. And if you're interested, by the way, my dears, in an individual brief analysis of your chart, where you get an amazing overview about the most important aspects of your design, your type, your strategy, your authority, also the way you're supposed to eat, we give a short overview there. So the bigger aspects of your design. And if you also want to see your not self and your stumbling blocks and your trigger points, the shadow and conditioning, then go to our website. You will find a link below the video, either on YouTube and also on my website, for more information. And my dears, I offer a living, loving, embracing, and unleashing your design self-empowerment course. And you also will find a link for that in the video description. It goes over 12 years. You will get over 12 years information that will help you go deeper into your unique human design experiment and understand the original human design mechanics deeper, so that it will help you to really unleash your design, understand your loved ones better, and to help you really live according to your human design, so that you not only know who you are theoretically in your head, but that you are grounded through those 12 weeks, that you start to live it, to really embracing it and enhancing your foundation based on your knowledge right now. So if you're interested, you will find the link also for that below. And we have also our amazing badass empowerment series for the types and also for the authorities. If you want to have even more information about your type so that you really get it deeper and about your strategy and authority, you will find also those empowerment presentations in the link below. And if you want to work with me, you're welcome. I am happy and grateful to guide you in your experiment. And as with everything, you will find the links below. I'm also available on Instagram if you want to follow me there. We do a lot of neutrino transit forecasts so that you can use that to decondition. We share a lot of amazing information, not only about human design, but also on sexual empowerment, also on gentle trauma release. And there's a lot of human design humor, because we need humor in our lives. There are so many people who have forgotten how to laugh because their life is so hard, and we get out of this state slowly but surely through following a strategy and authority, and a little bit of help goes a long way, right? Either through a humorous reel or some inspiration or some quotes either from me or from Ra at times, or new input to widen your horizon, so that all of that can help you in your human design experiment. So, sweet people all over the world, I hope you enjoyed my video about the MG and generator, and you both are amazingly beautiful. And if you're an emotional generator or manifesting generator, take your time. And if people push you, still take your time, because without your emotional authority and the time that you need to take to metabolize the emotional wave, you will never get to your clarity and awareness, the emotional awareness, and to that depth. So don't be slave of other people's minds, but surrender to who you are. All emotional people, you need to take time. And if people push you and people hurry you up, don't listen. Give them a boundary in respect, but give them a boundary, because they don't know your truth. And if you would be chained to their not self and would follow their not self and would allow this pressure from them to remote control you, you will never get to your truth and to your depth and beauty. So all emotional people here, please relax and take your time and enjoy the wave. And when your wave is clear, either as a projector, manifestor, or generator, then take your steps. And then it will be the right timing. Even though your mind might not think that, or other people's mind might think that things should go faster. Okay, sweet people, everywhere on this beautiful planet, the more we surrender to our strategy and authority, the less we hurt each other, the less we push each other, the less we distort each other. Instead, we are really discovering who we are, falling in love with ourselves, falling in love with the people in our lives, and find our purpose. And then we have a sweet paradise on this planet. Okay, I have a lot of abstract activation. I can talk for hours about human design, about things that I love, but I'm gonna stop for now. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you all the best until the next time, either in our empowerment series or on Instagram or through my emails, or maybe we meet in person one day. Bye for now.